So let's talk about Shibari and flexibility because I work with a lot of different body types and body styles and flexibilities and ages. I mean, some of my students are in their 30s. I think a few might be in their 20s, but some are in their 60s and 70s. And it's important for us, especially as well, whether you're a rigger or a bunny, it doesn't really matter. But if you're a bunny, or rope bottom, it is important to keep our body in flexible shape. It's like I sit on the ground a lot of times when I'm tying people, and what I see with a lot of people is they don't know they can't, their body doesn't allow them to sit on the floor. And it's really important. So many people sit at a desk all day long. Their feet are on the floor, and it causes the hips to be in a certain way, and it causes back stuff and hip stuff and all kinds of stuff. I know people who have knee stuff from like sitting in a chair all day, because it cuts off blood circulation and it shrinks the muscles in areas, and I'm not sure if it expands it anywhere or anywhere positive. And so I want to bring this to our attention that if you are a rope bottom or even a rope top, to look at how much do you stretch, because what I'm seeing is, like, I've been working with a few rope bunnies that their flexibility is, when I started working with them, their flexibility, their feet were way out and their knees were way up, and they were like this. And just in 3 sessions of working with them and getting them to stretch on a regular basis, they're like this and they're like this. This is 3 sessions in just talking to them and having them go home and just sit in this position until their back gets a little straighter, or kind of just gently move, their knees a little bit, not to the point, don't hurt yourself, but it's like, or even just getting in the position that's kind of comfortable and rocking back and forth, and just starting to open up this area and get your body used to. If you're not used to sitting on the floor, and you sit on the floor 5 minutes a day, even if you're sitting like this, I'm not saying, get in a relaxed position like this where you're only holding yourself up by your abdominals, great for your abs, but I mean where you're actually stretching these hip joints, your back, using your abs. If you just did this 5 minutes a day, everything starts stretching out. Or another one is you bring your leg in front of you, like flat in front of you. I don't know if I can do that here. And then your leg out and back is normally straight. The gong is there. So if I move forward, I straighten the leg out, and then I can just work with getting my body closer to the ground towards my knee, and just opening up those hip flexors. If the whole entire hip area is just stretches, and doing it on the other side. You need to always do things on both sides, open them up. And it's like, and then find a way of, like, you bring your feet together like this. And maybe your feet are here, maybe your feet are way out there and your knees are up here. And you just sit here and you try to bring let me show you. So you might be this way at first, but it's like, try to bring your back until it's like this. Even if your knees are still up, that's fine. But eventually your legs will shrink downward, go downward, your feet will come in. And then once you're here, then you can even consider going down to the floor. But this is as a bunny, or even as a top, because even as a top, you need to be able to get in positions where you can move. And if you're not flexible, if you're not moving, able to be flexible, then you're going to have to stand. And that limits some of the ties, or you're going to have your bunnies only being tied while you're standing or while they're sitting in a chair. And so I invite you to do some yoga, do some stretches, and also it's like I'm working with people and rolling their shoulders back is another huge thing, because if you're ever going to do a TK, you're going to need your bunnies. And even as tops, it's really good to do this. I do this one even before I tie. Do this, raise my arms a little bit. If you can't do that yet, that's fine. But it's good to do them both ways. Because if you can't do this comfortably, how are you to go into a TK? So to get into that TK position, you need to be able to stretch your shoulders. And most people, they're on the computer and they're like this. And so in order to, when you sit, just see if you can sit at your computer like this. And I rarely sit with my feet on the floor. My feet are always, even if I'm in a chair, my feet are always on the floor because it helps for this benefit. And flexibility is so important. It's like so many people when they get older, they have hip replacements and stuff like this, and they do that because their flexibility got lost, and their flexibility got lost in their hamstrings and stuff. They can't catch them if they go to fall or trip and stuff like that. So I know some of you might have knee stuff, but there's ways that you can still work with this a little bit, that you can get better at it instead of being up here. And if you want to be tied, or if you want to be more flexible rope top that can be on the floor and standing, I highly recommend these things. I mean, there's all kinds of stretches and yogas all over YouTube. I might actually do a whole entire yoga thing for people who are doing Shibari, just so you know. But those are a few. I just showed you 3 or 4 different stretches that you can do in order to be a better bottom and a better top. And as a top, you also want to make sure you're stretching your hands, your fingers. It's really good to do them both ways. So good luck, have fun, enjoy, be bendy.